Welcome back to the Controlled Chaos podcast. As always, my name is Nathaniel Badley. Alongside me is Alex Salas, and we're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. First podcast of the year.
Hey.
Happy New Year, 2023.
We're on YouTube. You'll get a special look at what me and Alex are doing. So please check us out at Controlled Chaos podcast, as always. And Alex, I'm glad that you're back in studio this week.
Come on, it's great to be back. I missed last week. I had a lot on my plate. Had a lot of things happen to me, but
good to be back.
Hey, baby steps now.
Hey, baby steps.
Small what do they say? It's this is a minor setback for a major comeback.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you if you're tuning in on YouTube. Thanks so much. And if you're not, you should be. I mean, let's be real. You should be. If
Everyone's
you really want
on it.
Yeah, everybody's on YouTube. Come on. Who's not on YouTube right now? But like, comment, subscribe, and please follow us and hit the little bell at the top. That way you can hear and get all the notifications for our podcast.
Yes, sir.
As always, we've been doing these drafts, and this is something that I've never seen before, and I'd love to do it. And it's the traffic sign draft.
The traffic sign draft. Go ahead and walk us through a little bit on what that looks like.
So just, talking about traffic signs, like your railroad signs, your stop signs, of course.
Yep.
It's very notable. But, Alex, with your first pick, what are you going to take?
I'm not going to lie. Mine's not really much of a sign, but more of a light. I like that green light.
Okay.
I like that. Just let me gas it. I don't need to touch the brake or whatever. Ain't nothing better when you're going on the highway or a back road and you're just seeing that green light. Just go right through.
Hey.
You don't got to worry about it.
I love it, man. And I'm going to go with something more of like what's the first thing you think of when you think of a sign? The stop sign.
Stop sign.
So I'm going to go with the stop sign.
Stop sign, trying to be safe, whatever, trying to stop or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one I'm going to go with, it's the middleman between the two.
Okay.
I'm going with the little yield.
Okay.
If I have to stop, I will. But if I don't have to, I'm just going to roll right through it.
No.
I can
do not
work
disagree with you there. Definitely don't disagree with you there. Oh, what else? Oh, the speed limit sign.
Speed limit sign.
That's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the speed limit sign because, hey, you got to know how fast to go so you don't get pulled over.
Oh, absolutely. Unless it says 70.
Hey, yeah.
If
I go 80, baby.
It's all interstate. No one's nearby. Just floor it.
Yeah,
there's very rarely cops anywhere.
Right. What about your third pick?
The next one I'm going to do. So this one is because I'm a big time guy. I hate wasting time. I hate when I'm trying to look for ways to get in, get out. This sign saves my life. It's a dead end sign. I don't need it. I need to go down the street or whatever. Oh, I got to bust a whole UE, whatever. No. I don't need to waste my time.
The dead end. Love it, man. All these signs, and this is going off of piggybacking off what you said, the do not enter sign.
Yep.
You go in.
Do not enter.
You're just not going that way, man.
Yep.
Don't go that way. Don't enter.
Not happening.
And people still do it at Chick-fil-A.
I know. All right, so the next one I'm going to do. So this is just, again, another for my sanity, just for me to save time, whatever. I like to know where to park. So I'm just like the big blue with the little white P, little parking sign. It's okay to park here.
Hey.
Might have a little toll maybe, but even then, it's still not bad.
Hey, not bad at all.
Not bad.
I love that pick. I'm going to go with something. I guess I'm going to piggyback you on this one, the no parking sign.
The no parking sign.
I guess I'm going negative here, I guess.
Oh, we went green light, you went stop sign, whatever.
Yeah. No, you cannot park here or you will get towed. Fire lane, baby. With your fifth pick, what you going?
My last one I'm going to do is the OKU sign. I say it's illegal to do the little U-turn. I know that a lot of people don't know what this is, but in Michigan, they don't have, like, when you're going down the highways or whatever, they don't have, like, a stop sign where you just make a left. You have to go past the sign for you to be able to go to another legal area for you to bust a U. And it happens about every mile, give or take. And honestly, it's a lot easier than how it is with, like, having the long line when you're going down, like, here, 64 and 70, you have, like, a long line, whatever. Just bust U's, and it's so much easier. I want a good U-turn.
Hey, I like that pick. I'm going to go with something a little bit more conventional. One might say you can only go this way. A one-way sign.
A one-way sign. Okay.
Something a little bit. Honorable mention, though, would be railroad. Railroad's right there in the top.
Yep.
Top 10 picks, but didn't make the cut.
It didn't
make the cut. Well, we got a jam-packed episode for y'all today. And as many of y'all know, Alex had a rough weekend this past weekend with the new year. He left the old bad times in 2022.
You ain't kidding.
But man, semifinal games, college football final playoffs. Man, what was the biggest reason? We'll get right into it, guys.
Yep.
What's the biggest reason for TCU's upset over Michigan?
Honestly, and as much as I respect TCU, because they are a good team, they were undefeated until their Big 12 championship.
Yep. And even that game, they played their heart out.
They did. And let's be real, Max Duggan, he got the TD. I still stand by it. But what separated them from Michigan was shooting themselves in the foot. The first play was a 70-yard run. Donovan Edwards takes it almost to the house. Then next thing you know, we have 3 plays to try to punch it in. Why the heck are we running Philly special on 4th down when we put our identity in the run game?
Yeah.
QB sneaks, it's legal to push now. Why are we running Philly special?
Yeah, you can push, but you can't pull.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're not, hey, Jim Harbaugh's done this before. Let's put 9 linemen on the line, put a QB back and someone behind him, just go to town shoving.
Yeah, just motion a tight end over.
Absolutely.
And push 'em.
But what's happened? I don't know. Just with me, I wholeheartedly think I won't even do the refs did a bad call with Roman Wilson's TD, it being short, whatever, because we did have a chance to punch it in, we didn't. We could talk about the targeting, and one targeting call isn't going to be the reason why we win. It's little things that we did to shoot ourselves in the foot. J.J. McCarthy has only thrown 3 picks this season until that game, and 2 of them being pick
14
sixes.
points.
It's just we were shooting ourselves in the foot. The best team did not win that game, and it was just.
But the better team, I wouldn't say the best team didn't win that game, but TCU did come to play.
They did, absolutely. I mean, they still even without those 41 points, 14 points, my bad. What's that still? 38 points that you put up? You can win a lot of games with 38 points. So, again, TCU, I respect y'all. Lucas, I know if y'all don't know, my sister's boyfriend, he's a student at TCU. Go Frogs for this upcoming week. So.
No, dude, I'm going to say Michigan really wasn't prepared. They didn't look like they were prepared at all.
Not at all. No.
You're running Philly special on 4th and 2. Man, you're in a playoff semifinal game. Take the points.
Yep.
I know you got to be ambitious, but the scoreboard's 0-0. Yep. There's no need to go for 4th and 2. Take the points. Let's put 3 on the board.
Yep. Can I make I don't want to say the word argument. Say, do you think that they panicked?
Michigan, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Jim Harbaugh has won a bowl game since being at Michigan.
He won his first year. We played Florida in the Citrus Bowl, but every game after that, downhill.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So that was 2015 or 2016 after that?
So he has almost yet to win multiple bowl games, and it's the same thing. You either get blown out by an SEC team or, this case, a Big 12 team.
Yep.
Which, I mean, it does help your case with the hardest conference. But
I said it before. Big 12 was the hardest, and they
came to play. They came to play, and I'm not mad about it.
Can we agree that if TCU does win it all, then my point does stand? Can we agree?
I'm not going to say you're right, but it does help your point substantially.
Yeah. I mean, Kansas State didn't exactly help losing to Bama, but.
Yeah. No, TCU scores 51 points, and I think that's your big problem there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my thing that I said last week, for those who listened last week, I had literally said, I was like, if TCU gets them on the ropes early, I just don't see Michigan doing it because and what killed y'all was scoring 2 field goals in the first half.
Absolutely.
If you scored at least a touchdown with those 2 field goals,
we would have been fine.
It would have been fine.
Yep.
But it's just the fact that they couldn't get it. TCU got Michigan on the ropes early, and Michigan looked like they started to panic, and they couldn't figure it out.
Nope. Yep.
Because how many 3-and-outs did they have?
I remember I've counted
2 or 3 in the first half.
Yep. And then I counted another 2 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, when you don't score on drives or at least put up 3 points on those drives, that kills you, man.
Yep. And then that's how our last drive was, even with the targeting call.
Yeah.
Or non-call targeting call.
Yeah.
That was still 3 and gone.
Yeah. For real. And moving to the Georgia and Ohio State, I will agree with you. The better team did not win, but Ohio State did have a little bit of problems with they had a couple 3-and-outs, and they killed them at the end of the game.
Yep.
And then They thought they got that fourth down stop. And then also that are you more and less impressed with Georgia's win on Saturday?
I can't say I'm more impressed, and I can't say I'm less impressed, because I said from the beginning of the game, it's going to be a close one, and Ohio State will win, is what I said.
Yeah.
And Ohio State was leading for a majority of it, so until the whole Marvin Harrison goes down, the whole Stetson Bennett steps up in the fourth quarter where he didn't for the whole beginning of the game, is where I'll say he made up for what was supposed to be less, to be just in that middle spot. I'm not impressed. I'm not unimpressed. Georgia just did what they were supposed to. Their whole defensive scheme changed after Marvin Harrison went out. So I'll just say Georgia did what Georgia's supposed to do. They just got the job done.
Yeah.
It's like McDonald's. You pay for what you get. You knew what you're getting.
Yeah.
There's nothing special to it.
No,
So.
no, I'm on the fence, just like you, man.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence because I think Ohio State should have won. C.J. Stroud balled out.
Yeah.
Balled out.
4 TDs. What do you have? 30-something rushing yards. And he's not a mobile QB at all. He likes staying in the pocket.
Yeah, he's a pocket QB, but he has the ability to run.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
that's why it makes him a little bit dangerous, because he can.
Yep.
And, man, I just don't think you can blame it all on the kicker.
No,
I can't.
I would have been more impressed if he made that one.
Oh, yeah. No. And this guy has been automatic all year.
Yeah.
And so this is the guy, unarguably one of the best kickers in college football besides the guy at Michigan. I can't think of his name right now.
Jake Moody.
Yeah, Jake Moody. He won the Kicker of the Year award last year.
Yep.
I just think, man, this is who you want. He's Mr. Clutch. He comes up and he makes field goals. And, he just, he shanked it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a bad kick. It wasn't a bad hold. It wasn't a bad snap. He just, shanked it. And I think, they should have gotten that first down on that fourth down fake punt.
Yep.
And I think that's killed. And whoever told Kirby Smart, because Kirby Smart called a timeout at the last second. Somebody saw it upstairs and was told him, Kirby, you got to call a timeout. Call a timeout. They're going to run it.
And then finally, he called it. They were screaming in that headset, call a timeout, call a timeout, call a timeout. I will say this. C.J. Stroud and Ryan Day probably get more critique than anyone else in all of college football.
No.
Losing to Michigan, not winning a Big Ten title. We can make the list go on, whatever.
Yeah. No. I don't
They
disagree.
both did their job. They did it very well. C.J. Stroud had 4 TDs. He had, 30 rushing yards himself, 400 passing yards himself, too.
Yeah.
Ryan Day did great coaching. He did great setting these guys up. Kirby Smart just edged them out.
Yeah.
That's it.
No. It'd be like that. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Very.
It was tough to watch Ohio State lose like that just because I was like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough. And then you got the no targeting with Marvin Harrison Jr., and then I think it was y'all's tight end?
It was our tight end.
Yeah. Do you think that was targeting? Like both of them. I think I see how the one with Marvin Harrison's not.
Yeah.
But I can also see where
Well, I watched it a few times over and over. He had no, how am I saying this, head recoil off the ground. He didn't have
But he ended up getting a concussion.
He did.
Yeah.
So obviously, and we all saw the helmet didn't go into his helmet. It went through his chest.
Yeah.
You don't get no concussion by not hitting a head.
Yeah.
So obviously that was a hard enough hit for him to even be in that state, period.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to get at is what I hate is he was defensive player. And by the way, I tipped my hat off. C.J. Stroud just threw up a prayer what looked like it was going to just go out of bounds.
I thought it was just a thrown away ball.
Yes, and Marvin Harrison feet in, reaches a little bit out, whatever.
And
This is why I love this
clocked.
guy. Wow. He was defenseless.
Yeah. He
So-
got clocked.
I mean, we've talked about the targeting calls, on paper, a defenseless player, point blank. Now, there's other things that you want to make, like the head contact or whatever. What I would call targeting, if I don't see arms open, wrapped up or whatever, ready to tackle someone, you're ready to just bullet shoot right through someone's chest, like what he just did. Arms closed, lead with your head, whatever. Because he still led with his helmet.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a flag.
So still, you would still throw the flag even if he didn't make helmet contact.
Even if he didn't make helmet contact.
I think there should be a rule about
And
defense. But then again, then you got to call everything. I don't think
to
you
a
can,
degree, but you could still wrap up without closing your arms and diving.
And here's the other thing with that. I just think that would make football that much harder and tackling that much harder because,
Yep.
like I got to wait for him to complete the catch. You almost would have to, because
I was a rugby guy. You can wrap up using your arms. And in football, you have your pads on too. So it makes it even easier for you to be more physical.
Yeah.
It makes the game more safe, which, again, we like the gladiators. We like being physical. We like people, I don't want to say getting hurt, but we like people smashing heads together.
Yeah, we do.
But I don't know. When I see arms balled up and you're leaning with your head, I would throw a flag, helmet contact or not. Like, that's what I say, that fine line of what targeting should be. But
yeah, no.
We don't get paid to make decisions in the league. So
We don't. Unfortunately.
If you're looking, we're open. We'll send applications, resumes.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it. No, but now here's my next question. Like, is the official system broken or the replay system broken? Because we saw that it may have been targeting.
Yeah.
And we saw that catch on the 1 yard line.
Yep.
With Michigan, which I don't think you could have overturned it either way. If it was called down at the 1, it would have stayed as down at the 1.
Yep.
But if it was called a touchdown, it should have stayed as a touchdown. Yep. When they reversed it, I was like, holy cow. Yep. Because you couldn't really tell that the ball was, like, secured.
Mm-mm.
The ball
still had a little gap between his left
I know.
hand.
It wasn't fully secured, and that's why I was like, well, you can't overturn it now.
And then they still do.
I know, and they still do. And I was like, but with that, what do you believe?
So I'm even back up on that little question a little bit. I don't know if y'all saw, because I didn't even catch it until whoever was commentating on that game caught it. The pick or Sancho's interception was on TCU's 47. But when they placed the ball, it was on our own 49. That's a whole, 4, almost 5 yard difference.
Yeah.
That could have made up that whole TD. So we wouldn't even be in this pickle in the first place. But then following after that, you can't overturn that. You cannot tell me it was clear enough evidence to show that it was short. So with the whole replay system being broken, that is just one example. It might not be as big as major. Well, obviously for us, it was the game on the line, whatever. So that was major for us. But that's just a small fragment of all these other games and all of college football of how the replay system is broken.
Yeah.
I don't know. They say it needs to be clear as day. That one was not clear as day. It was short. I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, no. I'm going to go, it can be yes and no.
Yep.
Because I'm going to say, yes, it is broken because we're human.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
And it's run by humans.
You can always find something to try to critique or something, whatever.
You can always find something to critique. That's why I'm not going to dog the officials on this one.
Yep.
Do I think it was undisputable evidence to overturn that touchdown? No. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, what can you do? You just can't overturn it the way it is. So, like, it was just like, I was very unenthralled. I was very disappointed that they overturned it because I was like, dang, they really be out here today. Yeah. I was like, okay. But, and this is another thing going back to Michigan thing is like, I did see that spotting of the ball was a little fishy, but, I mean, I don't know.
It's things like that where the officiating, I hate how there is SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12, Big 12. I hate those refs. Now, if we were to have like regular season, let them in, and then in the big time games, mixed match, whatever, so there is no, I guess you say, conference bias, which I'm not even assuming, which I'm not even saying is the reason why Michigan lost. I would hate for that to even be on the table for both the guys who are defending, hey, we lost that game because of officials, and the guys who are officiating that game, we can't like accuse them, whatever.
Yeah.
I would hate for that to even be on the table for it to be even questioned.
Yeah.
But so if we were to at least take that small part out, hey, we're going to take a guy from all 5 conferences, at least 2 from every conference to officiate one game. Cool. I wouldn't question anything at all. But there should be no reason why each conference has their own supervisor over each conference and who they report to, how do they do things, replay over and over again. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Pac-12 does more, what's it called, instant replay? Official replays than any other conference. It's just things like that where I'm like, it shouldn't. There's no need to be like. It just needs to be one standard system that everyone follows.
No.
Point blank.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yep.
Well, let's get into the other New Year's Six bowls. We got the Orange Bowl, which Tennessee defeats the orangest of orange bowls ever.
I know,
Tennessee
right?
actually whips the tar out of
Clemson.
man. I called Clemson to win this because I thought I just thought Tennessee had, with Jalen Hyatt out and with
Cedric Tillman
and Hooker, and a couple others opting out, I was like, they're not going to be able to play well. I thought they'd play well, but I didn't think they'd win.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like a close game, like a 7-point game or a 3-point game win for Clemson, just because that true freshman QB was a stud.
Yep.
And, Milton came out there and balled out. Like Milton, 19 for 28, 251 yards and 3 tutties. Squirrel White, though.
Squirrel. He got himself a TD, too.
He did. He got 9 receptions for 108 yards.
Yep.
Like, great game for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed. What did you think about it?
So I will say, I did not see. Oh, my bad. Clemson, of course, they needed to be in the New Year's Six Bowl. They were one of the best in their conference. If not the best, because they did win their championship. Whatever. They didn't lose to an ACC team all year, but that was a cheesecake team for Tennessee.
It was.
Tennessee has been playing arguably the hardest schedule in all of ball. There was no reason why Tennessee should have lost, even if they were with the backup QB with Joe Milton. Clemson did not capitalize in the red zone. What was it? 3 attempts, 3 times they made it in the red zone. Either didn't convert or missed a field goal. Yeah. And they had 3 missed field goals in the beginning of the game, too. It's just things like that where...
It would have made the game a lot closer.
It would have made it a lot closer, but Tennessee still, I would have believed that they would have edged that game out. I did not think Clemson this year is the same Clemson that they have been for the last few years, period.
Yeah.
So
no, I think it's a bright future for the true freshman QB, Klubnik.
Yep.
Great guy. I think he's a stud, especially in the ACC championship game. Came in there, showed up. And you got a lot of guys that you're missing for opting out to go to the draft and stuff like that. So it's like, well, if you're one of your main targets, just go.
Yep.
It's like, well, I don't have anybody. I mean, I have people, but I don't trust them. I don't have that, trust.
Another receiver that Tennessee played for Tennessee this past weekend, he's going to be gone this next season. Jeremy Banks, he's going to be gone next season.
Yeah.
Brew McCoy, he's going to be staying, and he kind of sparked a little fire, for Tennessee on that game.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to see how they're going to look next season. That's the only reason why I'm happy with how bowl games, or I could find the positive in players opting out.
No.
To set up for the next year. How can next year possibly look? So
no,
it makes me look a little happier.
Oh no, it does. It makes me look a little happier. Yeah, and so then we got the Sugar Bowl, right?
The Sugar Bowl. Kansas State and Bama. I'll let you roll with this one a little bit. I text you a little bit whenever we're watching the game, whatever. So I'll let you start with this one.
Man, I was really impressed with Bryce Young in Alabama. Holy cow! Decided to come back for the Sugar Bowl.
Yep.
For the New Year's Six Bowl and dominated.
Yep.
Dominated. I said last week, I think Kansas State hangs in there in the first half and then gets absolutely rolled. And they did.
And it was a first quarter that they did. So you were right about that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I think Kansas State's a great team, but I just don't think they're on the level of Alabama.
Oh, no, not at all.
Especially with Bryce Young under
center. Yeah. Deuce Vaughn giving Nick Saban his longest TD ever given up in his career. 88 yards to the house. Little guy. I want to say it was like 5'6" when I looked him up, whatever.
Yeah,
he's a
short guy.
Yeah.
Short guy, but he balls, dude.
Dude is flying. Holy cow. I know he's hard to wrap up or whatever. But, no, absolutely. Kansas State, they led me on in the first quarter. Wow, these guys could actually hang in. Because I thought the same thing, too. If you were to ask me the spread, I'd have taken it with Bama every time. Yeah. And they had me fooled. I'm like, oh, Kansas State's rolling. They could take care of business. And then next thing you know, they just went downhill and started that second quarter. What was their QB's name? Was it Will Howard?
Yeah,
Will Howard. Not a single TD all game. And, again, you can't win games that way.
Yeah.
Bama's
especially against Bama.
Oh, gosh, that's even harder.
Yeah. No, Bryce Young, 15 for 21, 321 passing yards, 5 TDs.
Yep.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A QBR of 98.7.
Dang. I can't get over that. Bryce, that's a great way how to finish off your season, finish off your college career, going into the draft. He's going to
Yeah.
be done this upcoming season. So I'm curious to see where Bama's going to be following after this. Because what was their backup's QB's name? The one that played against Texas A&M?
I can't think of it.
Yeah,
I can
don't
see it, but
either.
I can't think of it.
But now it's like, because remember what I was saying earlier with bowl games always give like a small picture of how it's going to look for next year.
Yeah.
With everyone playing, you don't know how it's going to look for them next year. So hopefully, defense-wise, they're still up there.
Yeah.
But
No.
I'm questioning how their offense is going to look because
No.
they didn't have any standout receiver.
No.
Gibbs.
And that's the thing. That was the thing that we said, and I think Gibbs is going.
I think I won't be surprised if he's going
to the draft. Yeah.
Yep.
And we said this, like, you know, when we were talking about vulnerabilities when they got beat, they don't have a wide receiver one.
Yep.
They didn't. And I think that's what kind of held them back this season.
Yep.
But the Cotton Bowl, though.
Caleb Williams, I love you to death. And there's a reason why you won a Heisman. Your defense needs to step up. Your defense.
Literally.
Lincoln Riley, make your defense do some work.
Hit the transfer portal. Get some more.
Dion will pick them up.
They led by 15 points.
15.
With 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game.
Wow. I'm about to say, Caleb Williams himself had, 5 TDs and an interception, if I'm not mistaken?
He went 37 for 52 and 462 yards passing and 5 touchdowns and 1 interception.
You can't ask any more of Caleb Williams.
You literally couldn't.
He did his part. But back to Tulane, Spears, 200 yards rushing. Pratt, their QB, had 230 passing yards and 83 rushing yards himself.
Talk about Spears, 4 tutties?
4. There's a reason why Tulane won that game. I wouldn't have called that. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't have called that, especially when I heard Caleb Williams is coming back for that one because they were borderline if he was still hurt or not coming from Pac-12 championship. My money was on USC.
And I'll sit here right now and I'll tell you this. Last week, I called Tulane winning this game.
You did.
I did. I was like, Spears, if Tulane, and this was about the same thing when Memphis went to the Cotton Bowl a couple years ago against Penn State.
Yep.
And they hung in there with them.
Yep.
I just think, obviously you get these Power 6 schools and then you got the Power 5 schools and then you got, the AAC.
Yep.
And so
there's always one powerhouse. Every year, there's always one.
There's always one. Couple like last year and the year before, it was Cincinnati. And then you had Memphis before that. Then you had UCF before that. And, it was just like, man, and, hey, this year is Tulane. Tulane came to ball. Dude, I think they went from a 2-10 record to a 2-10 record to a 12-2 record.
Yep.
In one season. And I think that's the best in college football.
Oh, absolutely.
To ever happen. And I was really impressed, dude. I was like, holy cow. So with that being said, is USC as good as we thought they were?
That's a hard one. Is Caleb Williams? Absolutely. And what holds them back is that defense. Because we've seen Lincoln Riley. You can make it to the playoffs being dominant on one side. Ohio State's done it before, having a dominant offense. USC's done, or not USC. Lincoln Riley's done it with Oklahoma several years, having an amazing offense.
Yeah.
But when defense is lacking, you can still make it to the playoffs. You can't win a ship that way.
Yeah.
But you can still make it to the playoffs. So I don't know. It's just one of those. You need both to be successful. Period. To win a natty. But,
yeah. No. I think I'm going to say overrated.
Overrated?
I think they're overrated.
Yeah.
I think they were a little bit too high, and Utah did lose to Penn State in the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
And partially because their QB went out with an injury.
Yep.
So can't really.
And Penn State was still dominant all year.
They were.
Even if it wasn't for that, I still would have believed Penn State would have edged out by either 7 or 3 at the absolute.
Yeah. No, and I think USC, man, we've seen they got whipped by Utah.
Yep.
And now they got, frankly, I'm not going to say they outplayed them.
Yeah.
They played them exactly the way they should have.
Yeah.
Because Tulane came in there and was like, well, if we're going to do what we do, we can win this game.
Yeah.
And they got that safety.
Yeah.
That was a momentum turner. I was like, they got the touchdown, then they got the safety, and then they drove down the field with literally less than a minute and got in the end zone. And I flipped on the game because I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I need to check the score of the Cotton Bowl. I turned it on, and it was it was tied, but they were reviewing the touchdown, and I was like, oh snap! I was like, holy cow! I was like,
it's a lot closer than you thought.
Yeah, I was like, all right, USC, because I turned it off when USC went up by 14 in the first half. Yeah. I was like, up. But they battled back. Yep. I was thoroughly impressed, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah. Was your question is USC overrated or just the entire Pac-12 in general?
No, I'm going to say USC.
USC?
I don't think the entire Pac-12 in general is.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of like what is the one outlier, because Utah lost to Penn State, USC lost to Tulane, Oregon lost to Georgia. It's just it hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts their case overall.
No, for sure. No, Pac-12 football. I think it'll be interesting to see, especially with Deion Sanders.
Oh, that is going to be spicy. I'm excited. Transfer portal's already blowing up for him already. So.
Yeah, no, and recruiting is blowing up. Mm-hmm. Like I'm thoroughly impressed. Thoroughly, I just think that they just got a lot to figure out, and we'll see what happens with the Pac-12 next season. And I think overall, this is like one of my favorite college football seasons, like in a hot minute.
Yeah.
So like I love it, and I'm here for it. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with NFL after. You're listening to the Controlled Chaos Podcast. New episodes every Thursday. If you're looking for a cool hoodie or even a t-shirt or even a freaking candle, no worries. Check out our merch shop. Click the link in our Instagram bio and get yours today. Right now, Nathaniel and Alex are probably grabbing a quick snack or drinking something real tasty. So why don't you sit back and relax and enjoy the rest of the show, because I guarantee you, you're not ready for what's next. And welcome back to the Controlled Chaos Podcast. As always, I'm Nathaniel Badley, alongside me, Alex Salas, and we got a little bit of depressing news to get into.
Monday Night Football.
I know, Monday Night Football. Damar Hamlin collapses on the field and needs CPR. He is a 6th-round pick out of Pitt. I think he's a rookie this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a rookie. If not, he's a sophomore. I think he's a rookie, though. But he made a tackle, stood up, and then immediately collapsed and had to get his heart restarted on the field. Something so crazy, something that's bigger than football, and I think we really saw that displayed.
Literally fighting for his life. It is sad news, absolutely. Again, like you were saying earlier, it's bigger than what football is. To at least hear some good news to come out of it. He did have a toy drive. That right around the Christmas time, whatever. Ever since the situation has, people have donated, I want to say $3 million and still counting.
Yeah.
That was just last night alone, like when they came out with that update. So I can't imagine where it's at now.
And I think this is like, and this showed like the humanity of football. Like, hey, like this game is dangerous, because on the back of the helmet, it reads like could cause serious injury or even death.
Yep.
Like this game is like everybody, like you think you're invincible.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if you look at the play too, it looked like a normal hit.
Yeah.
Like nothing at all looked like, oh, he hit his head, oh, whatever. And next thing you know, when he's down, that's when just it got real.
Yeah.
Everyone's holding hands, praying, again.
Crying. Everybody's crying.
Absolutely.
And I think that showed the severity of the situation.
No, absolutely. Too. Yeah. Again, it's bigger than football. I don't know if they'll even make up that game.
No, I don't. The NFL says they haven't planned on it.
Yeah.
They may still, but I don't think they will.
No.
It was a big time game for playoff implications too, but
I said, man, did you hear about Stephon Diggs running to the hospital?
And, so Stephon Diggs actually like ran to the hospital and like got past an ESPN reporter had to vouch for Stephon to say, hey, like this is who he says he is. Like this dude's like an NFL receiver, And
I want to know if there's a lookalike out there that's trying to get in. I'm Stephon Diggs. I'm trying to see Hamlin. No, but
great fans coming around, praying with each other, and praying for Damar Hamlin. And here at Control Chaos, we are praying for you, Damar, and we want you to come home safe and sound. We want you to be okay. And we just don't want, we want you to be alive, and that's what we care
Absolutely.
about. That's the big thing. That's
Yep.
not, the football doesn't matter anymore. It's about you. And I think and the NFL did a great job of postponing the game.
Yep.
You know, and I did think that it was going to take them a little longer, but we've seen people get carted off, and everybody hold the thumbs up, and then
Yep.
play resumes.
Clapping
yeah,
hands.
everybody's clapping.
Yep.
But this is different.
Yep. This is literally a guy's life on the line.
Yeah.
Not just my knee, I can't get up.
Yeah,
this is real.
Yeah, this is like,
So-
yeah. But glad he's doing okay at the moment. He's still in critical condition, but they did say that he has his vitals are stable.
Okay.
So he's still in critical condition, but his vitals are stable. So, and he's sedated, so they can let his brain heal.
Yep.
So, very good. We are glad that he's doing
Good news on that.
Yeah, doing better. But let's get right into NFL. What's the Packers have made a run?
They've made a run recently.
I
and
know.
Wow.
What's the bigger reason for the Packers' run? Is it Rodgers or is it the defense?
With the Minnesota matchup, Alexander absolutely shut down Justin Jefferson.
Oh.
And that's what Minnesota's identity is in. Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, a little duo action, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't even have to throw TJ Hawk in there. He hasn't done anything since he's gotten traded. But
He had that big game last week.
the one game out of like what? He's been there for like 9 weeks now.
Yeah.
Psh, I say keep him, Minnesota. We got Brock right now. So, but Alexander shut him down. Was it 1 reception, 15 yards on 5 attempts? Justin Jefferson had the most yards after catch prior to that week.
Yeah.
And now, what? Only walking off with 15 yards? Wholeheartedly, but again, not dogging Aaron Rodgers at all. Again, still a Brady fan. We could get into that argument another day, whatever. Still respect him. I know he's won a ring himself. But Green Bay's defense, dang it, Alexander, I'm sure you heard his comment. I'm not a good corner. I'm a great corner.
Yeah.
And he spoke for that.
Yeah, he did.
No, absolutely. So I'm going with Green Bay's defense because they were slacking a little bit too this season, and now they stepped up.
I want to say Rodgers because Rodgers has been that dude, but the defense has made plays to keep Rodgers in the game.
Absolutely.
Because let's be real here. Minnesota can score those 40 points to stay in the game.
They can.
They can if you let them. And so, like, the defense had 3 interceptions. They had 6 interceptions in the last 2 games.
Yep.
You win games when you get 3 picks like that.
Correct.
Like, the defense this week, had 3 interceptions. Defense scored 2 touchdowns this week, too, against them. 1 fumble recovery, and they shut down, like you said, Alexander shut down Justin Jefferson. 1 reception, 1 for 5, and 15 yards. And that was it. And I have Justin Jefferson in another fantasy league. I need
Dud.
Dud. I was like, I lost the championship because of it.
Actually, speaking of championships, so if y'all are following in our fantasy league, Nathaniel was in the losers bracket and in the losers championship. And we have a small punishment in there if you lose in the championship or the losers bracket. Nathaniel walked away with his first win.
I know. I got my win. It's okay. I want to thank my mom, my amazing coaching staff, and, we just got to win. And I am on cloud 9 last night when I got the call from the commissioner to say that they were just going to void all the games for all the players that were playing in the Bills-Bengals game. I was so happy. I was on cloud 9, baby. I was like, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. But no, I just think, and let's, the Miami game too. Tua threw 3 picks on the last 3 drives of the game.
Yep.
Miami should have won that game. You had 3 uncharacteristic picks from him on Christmas Day. But, and this will lead me into my next question. Can Brady lead the Bucs to a deep playoff run?
Deep? No. Can he beat the Cowboys if Philly wins this next week? So then they do have to be set up to play the Cowboys. Abso-freaking-lutely. Cowboys their defense has been struggling themselves too. They came up this season. Oh, we're a great defense. Give it 3 weeks in. We could be a historic defense. The defense is struggling a little bit right now. Mm-hmm. If Brady could show up how he did this past week, what was it? 3 TDs, 1 rushing himself, whatever.
Yep.
Responsible for 4. Mike Evans isn't having butterfingers out there. He's had 3 times this season, 40 yards down the field, all by himself, naked. Here we go, slip. If he can get rid of that, I wholeheartedly believe Brady can at least beat the Cowboys, beat the wild card game, make it to the conference semifinals.
No.
So
I'm right there with you. Mike Evans had 207 yards for 10 catches last week.
Yep.
This week. He needs to help out more. Lenny needs to step up.
Yep.
And other pieces need to step up too
Yep.
if they're going to go on a deep playoff run.
No, absolutely. And that's what that's like the O-line struggles with. Leonard Fournette can't get a good game because it's not a good O-line.
It's literally not. And just to go bounce off that, they only have 3 20-yard rushes this season. They have more negative.
Three?
3.
Holy cow. Wow.
Like 3 20-yard gains off of 3 rushes all season long. They have more negative runs than runs over 5 yards. You can't.
That's hard. And
That's horrible football.
People are saying, "Oh, Brady doesn't have it anymore." Oh, Brady
just doesn't have help.
He doesn't have help. I'm about to say you saw what game he had last week.
Yeah.
Panthers were playoff contenders at one point. It's things like that that make me upset.
No. And here's the deal. And when they play drop back football, Brady averages 6 yards a pass on drop back football.
Yep.
They cannot play drop back football, and that's 31st in the league. 6 yards. That's, awful.
No.
And let's be real, when Mike Evans this week, when a wide receiver goes off like that, is it because the offense executed everything perfectly, or were the defense really bad?
Mm-hmm.
Like this week, what was it? Defense was really bad, right?
Yep.
Horrific.
Yep.
He was booty bone naked for those 2 go routes.
Yeah.
He burned his man.
Yeah.
And the dude couldn't keep up. Bad cornerbacking.
Yep.
Horrific cornerbacking. And it really pissed me off because I was like, dude, everybody's going to blow this game out of proportion for him, which he had a great game, as he should.
Yep.
Because that's what they're paying him to do, and those are the games they're paying him
Correct.
to have. But the Bucs, they're bad at running the football, and they're bad at drop back football. They rely so heavily on the play action offense that they have that they can't pass protect on the drop back.
And the play action ain't even helping on them with the run game.
They're not, and that's why you want the run game to be supplemental. Now, if they went solely play action, I think they could get a deeper playoff run. But I just don't see them doing it. I think they need this offseason, Brady needs to go somewhere else, or they need to get him an O-line.
He's still open for San Fran. San Fran, get rid of Trey Lance.
Put it this way. If Brock Purdy takes them to the Super Bowl, I think Brock Purdy is their new starter. Or even the
over
NFC.
Trey Lance? Over Jimmy?
Oh, yeah.
You think they'd get rid of both of them to keep him?
I don't think they would get rid of him. I think Trey Lance would be a backup. Because, and I know you drafted him so high, and I think they'll go back to him, but if Brock Purdy takes them to the Super Bowl and or wins the Super Bowl, how could you not? I know you got an all-star roster.
I mean, like we saw like the Nick Foles, Carson Wentz situation. Carson Wentz takes him to the Super Bowl. Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl. What happened that next season?
I know he got
bye Nick Foles.
Yeah.
So,
but I know. But here's my thing, bro. You got a guy who's practically been at the reins since what? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy G, yeah, but let's be real. Jimmy G's getting carried.
And I'm
going to say
Jimmy
Brock
G
Purdy's
backpacks. We've talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about Jimmy G backpack. But I think Brock is getting carried too, but I feel like Brock is producing more than Jimmy.
Yeah. That offense is more fluent with him, if you will.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a real quarterback controversy if he takes him to the NFC Championship game and or the Super Bowl. I mean, come on.
I can see it happening.
Because Trey Lance might be a bust.
But I think
we haven't seen enough of Trey Lance to know if he's a bust or not.
But there's just too many contenders in the NFC already for him to even get to that point. We talk about Philly. We're talking about Dallas. We're talking about Minnesota.
Yeah.
We're talking about Tom Brady and the Bucks.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just think that they can't. Let's get into this real quick. Who can squeeze into the last 2 spots of the NFC playoffs?
And it's well, now there's one spot because the Cowboys and the Giants now take that last 2, so it's one spot only.
Oh, it's one spot.
Yep. So it's between, correct me if I'm wrong, Seattle, Detroit, Green Bay, all tied Seattle has the edge or the head-to-head win over Detroit. Detroit has
Yep.
the head-to-head win over Green Bay.
Yep.
You ask me, I don't think Seattle could beat the Rams. I think Baker Mayfield can actually step up and do something. The one time I'm putting trust in you, Baker.
It's been karma lately.
I know, yeah. But I mean, like, they've been on a roll recently.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, if they can ride this little wave that they're having, I could see them taking over Seattle. And, of course, I saw how the
So
Green Bay and the Lions, and I'm not even, like, look, I know I'm a Lions fan. Y'all know that. I'm not even coming from a Lions bias standpoint. I saw the way how Detroit's offense was able to score on Green Bay with no problem, especially with their good defense that we're just praising.
Especially if they play like they did this past week.
Yes, absolutely.
They'll win that game.
I really do think that the Lions can get that edge and get that spot. Now, a lot has to happen for Green Bay to the Lions DBs have to not show up. Their star 3 rookies can't. Aiden, Rodrigo, and Houston?
Yep.
They have to be struggling for Aaron Rodgers to have himself a good game too. I mean, I just don't see all of that happening for Green Bay.
No.
For them to get that spot. So
I don't think the Dolphins are going to get it. No, not the Dolphins. No, the Dolphins are AFC. I'm sorry. I have the AFC drop down right here on my paper. I'm looking. The Lions. I love with the Lions, but the Packers are on that streak, and
it does scare me.
I would say it scares me too. Aaron Rodgers is coming. The Packers are coming. I want to go with the Lions though. I think the Lions can do it. They just gotta. The Packers need. The Packers have to win out now. If they win out, they're in. And if they lose this last week, is it at Lambeau?
It is at Lambeau. It's a hard place to play.
And I'll tell you, that's like home field advantage.
Absolutely.
Like, there's many places in the NFL that's not home field advantage, but
Lambeau
is one of them.
Especially at this time of year. Now, hold on, I'll look up the weather later or whatever, if it's snowing or if it's even 40, 50. I mean, it's 70 degrees here in Memphis, so I'm sure it's like still 50 up there.
Yeah.
So
no, still cold, still everything like that. Yeah. But, man, it's tough, tough place to play.
Absolutely.
And I think Baker Mayfield showed us that too.
Yep.
Yeah, but speaking of the Dolphins and Eagles, which team needs their QB more, Alex? Is it the Eagles or the Dolphins?
If you'd have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I'd have said Dolphins. But until the Eagles went 0-2 these past 2 weeks without Jalen.
Yeah.
Jalen. And it's helped his MVP race even more.
Yeah, it has.
So, I mean, Jalen Hurts, it's going to get brought up in then our next topic earlier. 3,472 passing yards on 425 attempts. 22 TDs, 5 interceptions. Has, 750 rushing yards, 13 TDs after that too. The Eagles need him. Love Gardner. He's not getting dubs for them.
No.
And that's what in this league matters. So what if you're not, but like what we're talking about Brock Purdy. So what, you're not putting the prettiest stats up on the board. You're still walking away with wins.
Yeah.
Philly needs their QB.
No.
He's in the MVP race for a reason. My vote goes for the Eagles. They need Jalen more than Miami does.
Needs to, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, Eagles for sure. Gardner Minshew isn't the same as Jalen Hurts. He isn't a mobile QB. Jalen averages 80 yards rushing per game.
Yeah.
Okay? Get this. Gardner only has 5 yards per game. Like he only has 5 yards total this season.
Rushing.
And he started 2 games and he's played in I think 4.
Yep.
2 of which he had, or 5. 2 of which he had negative 1 yards rushing.
Uh-huh.
So really he only has 3 yards on the season.
Yep.
He's only got 3 yards on the season. And I think that ability for Jalen Hurts to make plays out of nothing helps.
Absolutely.
Because 80 yards, that's almost all the way down the field. That's at least a field goal.
Correct.
That's at least a field goal, And then, now, Gardner hasn't played bad except for this past week.
Yeah.
He didn't play bad against the Cowboys.
He didn't at all.
No. And I was thoroughly impressed with that. And I was like, okay, and they blew it. And then they were like, I was like, wow, okay. But no, I think it's definitely without a doubt the Eagles. Now the Dolphins, we saw this past week. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater went down with like a finger injury or something like that.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? His backup came in. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Lord forgive me. But man, he came in and he still put up points on the board and got touchdowns. So, like, he's got Tyreek and Waddle. I mean, and Gesicki. So I'm not worried about the Dolphins. The Dolphins.
No, not at all.
I mean, do I think they should have beat the Pats? Yeah, but hey, Mac Jones showed up, and their defense showed up. So let's get into this question: Aiden Hutchinson or Sauce Gardner for Defensive Rookie of the Year? Do I even have to ask you?
You already know me. So I will say Sauce Gardner is at a phenomenal corner. Not just good at his position, but he's good at his position as a rookie.
Yeah.
The best corner right now. I want to say PFF grade, I think he has the best out of every corner. I want to say with like 80, 88, if I'm not mistaken.
Think
if that's
so.
right. I'm like, that's huge. Not just for a corner in general, but for a rookie at that. Cool. Great. But what hurts Sauce is he doesn't have those special numbers, those turnovers, those fumble recoveries, he only has 2 interceptions as a corner. Aiden Hutchinson as a D lineman has 3, which first of all, I will point this out. Aiden Hutchinson is the first D lineman to have 3 interceptions, not J.J. Watt, not any other D lineman you're possibly thinking of. Do you know the name Richard Dent?
I've heard the name.
From the 90s. This is 30 years ago. He was the last D lineman to have 3 interceptions. And Aiden Hutchinson has done that as a rookie with 7.5 sacks with that. You ask me, interceptions are turnovers, fumble recoveries are turnovers, and 7.5 sacks sure does help.
It does.
3 and outs help, whatever. It's stuff like that. Again, I love Aiden Hutchinson. I've watched him all through college, whatever. It's stuff like that I will pick over a good corner any day. As a defensive guy, turnovers are the best thing in the world.
No.
Second under pick sixes, but even then, I haven't seen a pick 6 from Gardner yet. 6 points on the board. So, but Aiden Hutchinson has at least 4. I want to say it's 5 turnovers plus those sacks.
Yeah. So, here's the stats for Sauce Gardner because I think it should be Sauce.
Heard. Go for it.
48 solo tackles, 2 interceptions, and 20 pass deflections. 69 total tackles.
Uh-huh.
And if we're talking about impact, I'm going with Sauce. Because Sauce has made an impact. And his first year.
Are the Jets in the playoffs right now?
Are the Lions?
We still got one last game to prove it.
Hey, if it wasn't for that piss poor offense of the Jets, they could be a playoff team.
Oh, gosh.
Don't even get me started on that.
Mike White, the savior.
Mike White? I'm not a Jets fan. I'm a Chiefs fan. Let's clarify that. I know I'm wearing this great Jets green.
I'm about to say.
No. I like Sauce. Sauce does. Aiden has 31 solo tackles, 7.5 sacks, which is 35th, 0 forced fumbles, and 3 interceptions, which is 20th in the league.
Yeah.
Which is higher, obviously, than Sauce. I think Sauce is at 26th in the league with 2 interceptions as a rookie.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Don't get me wrong.
Both of them, phenomenal
players.
Yep.
If you're talking about impact on that defense and make that defense instantly better, yes, Aiden Hutchinson makes it better, but he's also got 2 more people that come right behind him with those other 2 people that you named. I can't think of their names.
Houston and Rodrigo. Well, they're rookies too. Houston
but they've both. It's hard to shine when you're not the sole one on that. I mean,
and you're not wrong. Like Houston has 8 sacks already this season.
Let's be real.
As a rookie.
Let's be real. Sauce is unarguably the best player on that defense.
Yeah, I think I could back that one up. I can't even think of a single
That's what I'm
defensive
saying.
player.
Can't think of anybody else.
No, absolutely. But like other than like Aiden Hutchinson, name one other guy on the Lions defense. My point exactly. Okay. You don't ask me because I'll name that entire roster or whatever. But like Rodrigo, he's a rookie, phenomenal, whatever. But he's still not all pro. He's still not Pro Bowl, whatever. Houston rookie, same. All he did is he's just a pass rusher, no different than Aiden, but he doesn't have the numbers to back it up with interceptions, forced turnovers, XYZ. Aiden has done it either in the backfield and coverage. He's done it pass rushing, and he's you ask me, fumble recoveries are hustle stats. You're there wherever who's carrying the ball and the ball pops out. That's a hustle stat if you ask me.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing. He's already considered a leader of that defense as a rookie.
Yeah.
So it's just things like that for me that give Aiden the slighter edge over Sauce. I'm not at all saying Sauce is doing awful.
Yeah.
I'm not at all saying Sauce doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
But it's things like that make me give Aiden the edge that Sauce doesn't have for the Rookie of the Year or Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I like it. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so it's not
I think
like
it can go either way.
It can, absolutely. I hope that they split at best that they split the award with both of them. That's a heartbreaker for both of them. No different than like Grant Hill, Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
They split that Rookie of the Year award with them. This is one I can see that I'm not afraid for them to both split it just because it's just that phenomenal by both ends.
No, for sure. All right. Let's get down. Kirk Cousins.
Uh-huh.
Horrific game. Is Kirk Cousins a liability in big games?
Did you not see him with Green Bay? Did you not see him against the Cowboys? Did you not see him with the Lions? He's a liability in almost every game, period. Justin Jefferson carries him. You want to talk about backpacks? Maybe not as much as Jimmy, because we've had that talk before.
Yeah.
But he's duffel bag. You just pick him up and you walk.
He's a Louis bag. He's a Louis.
Even with this big old chain, his 5 chains, whatever, he's still a liability. Not as much as Jimmy, but he still needs to be carried.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, T.J. Hawk, they're all doing their part to take care. Thielen, yes,
Yep.
I forgot about him. Wow.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. He is a liability.
But he had some clutch moments.
He had clutch moments, or he's giving it to the right guy to finish the clutch moments, like the catch with whenever they're playing the Buffalo Bills. Justin Jefferson on his side, parallel to the ground, one hand up, flip it around, somersault.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say because I'm not gonna lie. Kirk Cousins played like booty cheeks against the Colts.
Yeah.
In the first half, and then the second half he turned it on like I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
And led him to the biggest comeback in NFL history. But I think he's had clutch moments, but he gave that Pats defense everything they ever wanted.
Absolutely.
And more. Like, they were like, give me a pick six. He was like, okay, do a pick six. We want another fumble. We want a fumble. Okay. Fumbles the ball. He gives them everything they ever wanted.
Do what you want with it.
Yeah. So he just gives them whatever they want. So, yes, do I think he's had some clutch moments? Absolutely. But
yeah.
I can't have Kirk Cousins, and I'll say this. I said this, shout out to Gavin. But Gavin's one of our friends and one of our dear friends, and he loves the frickin' Vikings. And he's a Minnesota man.
Is he from Minnesota?
I'm not totally sure. I'm going to have to ask him. But he loves the Vikings, and he loves the Timberwolves, whatever. Yeah. But
he only had a 10 QBR this past weekend.
Yeah. I love Kurt, but I just don't think I told him this. I don't think he's a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. I think they'll lose wild card.
If Jimmy G is, Kirk still is.
I think they lose wild card. If they somehow figure it out and win one, I think they'll only win one or. But when they play the 49ers?
No. It's the Eagles at number 1. Is it San Fran at number 2?
I think so.
San Fran at number 2, or Vikings at 3, and then Tampa at 4. So the Cowboys would be playing, I think it's the Bucks.
Yeah.
New York, I think, would be playing Minnesota.
That's right.
And then the Lions or Seattle or the Packers would be playing San Fran. Not San Fran. San Fran, because they got the spot over Minnesota.
No, I don't disagree. I just think, so I don't know. I just don't see them winning past. I think they could pull off the wild card against the Giants, but I just don't see them going any further.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I can't. Now for some miracle run, maybe they won't dance their way.
They already had Minnesota Miracle a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't think they'll make it to the Super Bowl. There's a chance they can make it to the NFC Championship game, but they're gonna have to play lights out.
Yep,
absolutely. Can't play like he did against the Packers and expect to win.
Yeah,
can't play like that. Jim Harbaugh, there's rumors of him going to the NFL. Salsa?
It's not happening. I'll tell you why it's not happening. Sure, he had a great resume while he was out there. Sure, he went to the Super Bowl with the 49ers while he was there. If y'all were to understand what he did for that Michigan team those years that he was there. So he came in at 2015. Yeah, 2015. He was there for 5 years. Flipped the program around already. And what he did in 2020 COVID year. I don't know if y'all saw. I don't even think we went I think we went 500 while he was there. I think it was like 5-5. I'm not no 4-4. My bad, because we had Ohio State and another game taken away from us in the last 2 games of the year. So we only played 8 games that season.
Yeah.
He decided to rebuild that entire program to the program that we know now, the run heavy, shove it down your throat, counters, powers, pins and needles, run game that we know now. He has put in too much in that 1 year to give that up, to give 2 successful years to lead us to a playoff run.
Yeah.
There's no way I see him giving that up to go for an NFL or an NFL team that will be willing to give him just a couple mil more. He loves the Wolverines since he was, I think he was like 8-9 years old when he was a cable boy, whatever, when they did the headsets or whatever. I don't see him giving that up to go sign with, who is it, the Panthers
or the Broncos?
The Broncos. Like, I don't see it at all. I don't.
I wouldn't say no. I don't see it. I can see it, but I don't know. I just don't think because once you go back from a lot, it's rare that you see a college coach bounce back up to the NFL.
Yep.
Like, because a lot of those guys are like, because let's be real here, the NFL coaches, they get a kind of a say in who they draft, but not really.
Yeah.
It's really only on the GM and the scouts and everything like that.
Yep.
Ultimately, the GM to make the decision. The coach does have a say, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
And so, with him being able to build the team that he wants is a lot different than what, you get in the NFL. You just get what you get and you got to make it do.
Yep.
But, no, man, I just think, do I think he goes? Maybe. It would be only for the pay bump, though, but I don't see that. I don't think it's going to be enough.
He flipped an entire spread RPO offense to just shove it down your throat, whatever. I don't see him getting rid of that at all. And at that, I don't see him going to the league and trying to turn something into that or turning a team into that.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't see it happening at all. I remember it was either 2 years ago. I want to say it was, right before COVID, whatever. Y'all try to make the same rumors about him doing that again.
Yeah.
Stop tickling with us and just leave Jim alone. Let him win his ring next year.
All right. Well, we have a brand new segment to end the show. And it's called Sleeper of the Week. And just to give you guys at home a little bit of what that looks like, it's something in your life, daily life, that doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. And Salsa, what's your sleeper of the week?
My sleeper of the week. I take these for granted every night. And especially during this time of year, I love my blankets, my covers, my sheets.
So shout out to the blankets.
It literally it puts me to sleep. I can't fall asleep unless something's covering me.
Hey,
point blank.
No, man. And with mine, I'm gonna go with something that's a little bit something more gritty, grindy.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go with the toothbrush, man.
The toothbrush.
Toothbrush. Shout out to my toothbrush because he gets down in there and he gets dirty.
He gets dirty.
And he does not care. Well, thank you so much for listening. You know it. You love it. Episodes every freaking Thursday. See ya.
Thank you for listening to Controlled Chaos Podcast. We thank you as two buds talk, debate, and argue about everyday sports. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, and most of all, YouTube. Thank you. God bless.